What's going on? It's Magic Mitch, and in this food adventure, I'm getting some early use out of my trusty turtle armor as I'm taking on a 6.5 pound breakfast pizza challenge. And this battle takes place at Kozy Korner in North Hudson, Wisconsin, which is my home state, so I definitely wanted to represent. But that wouldn't be an easy feat here, because this baby, oh boy, this baby is thick. And it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. First of all, when they're making this breakfast pizza challenge, instead of using a typical pizza sauce, they actually use a hollandaise sauce for it. And hollandaise sauce is more of a rich and creamy sauce that's typically used for dishes during breakfast or brunch. And while there are slight variations to it, the base of it usually has egg yolks, lemon juice, butter, and salt. And I personally enjoyed this touch, and I thought it added another great layer of flavor to this breakfast pizza. Then they add a bunch of stuff including eggs, cheese, potatoes. Then you've also got a few meats in there like ham, pepperoni, and sausage. Then to balance it all out, you have some vegetables including onions, green peppers, and mushrooms. So essentially what you're dealing with here is kind of like a breakfast omelet in pizza form, which is kind of wild, and quite frankly, I'm all for it. And if you're able to take this thing down within the 1 hour time limit, you get the meal for free, which costs $24, and you're also going to get a free shirt, your picture up on their wall of fame, and $30 cash. So all in all, I love the design of this challenge. First of all, it's a pretty unique challenge, and the only thing that remotely comes close to this in my mind is the breakfast calzone I did in Michigan. And then of course you've got the gold standard, which I always love to see, which is the free meal, the free shirt, and your picture up on their wall of fame for completing the challenge. But then you also have the chance to get some cash too, which is a nice little cherry on top. So for myself personally, I actually don't have a lot of familiarity with breakfast pizzas. The only thing that really comes to mind here are those god-awful breakfast pizza squares that you could get at high school before classes started. Well, I don't know if you had them at your high school, but trust me, I had one piece, and that was certainly enough to know that that was not for me. But anyways, this pizza challenge here, it's 1,000 times better than that. And like I mentioned before, this thing had some thickness to it. And then all those ingredients, well, I suppose that's to be expected. Though I did enjoy the fact that you do get to experience a mix of flavors. It's not like my taste buds in this case were just being dominated by, say, just the sauce and maybe the potatoes. I was actually able to taste a little bit of everything, which helped make this food adventure just that much more enjoyable. So originally, I wanted to do this breakfast pizza challenge as a head-to-head eat-off against my eternal eating rival, Eager Ethan. You know, aka the putrid filthmonger, aka the venomous swine, aka the disgusting deviant, aka the detestable dispatcher of food, aka the son of Steve. But he's actually been here before and done the challenge previously, and since he's already done this challenge, he was so eager to abandon us, just so he could do some random pay-to-play challenge down the road. I mean, talk about peak levels of eagerness. Actually, I don't blame him in this case. It was a chicken and waffles challenge, and I saw pictures of it later, and it looked amazing. But I suppose that was a good thing for him, since he wouldn't have to suffer another beatdown, like in the previous food adventure, though there is a lot of trip left. So there'd be plenty of opportunities in the future for me to lay the smack down on that uber goober, and make it clear just who reigns supreme in this eternal eating rivalry. Now just in case you're starting to ask yourself, hey, aren't you just being a bit too harsh on Ethan with all these nicknames? And the answer is simply absolutely not. And here's why. As his diabolical eating behavior grows, so does the list of nicknames to describe his heinous acts of eating. But you know what? You don't have to take my word for it. Just listen to what the big man himself, Randy Santel, had to say about his eating behavior.
You ever dunk bread in water?
Ethan does. Ethan specializes in that.
But putting that aside, I was still looking to have a good effort on this one and continue to keep the strong momentum I had going, and even possibly see if I could beat Randy's time once again, which he had just finished his challenge in 33 minutes and 59 seconds. And for what it's worth, I do believe that when Ethan completed this, he finished it around the 33-minute mark too. And while I was attacking this thing in an accelerated fashion, I made sure to have my entire lineup of drinks ready at hand, including some always reliable water, as well as some pink lemonade, just in case the flavors were a bit on the greasier side, and of course the tried and true closer, Diet Coke. And while this big old breakfast pizza did hold together a lot better than I thought it would, I also had my mighty big spoon and my other giant utensils on hand, just in case if I needed to clean up any leftover debris towards the end. So because this pizza is more on the unique side, I thought it would be a little fitting to answer this question of the day, which is, if I had to choose one food to eat for the rest of my life, what would it be? And of course my answer would be pizza. Now this might be bending the rules here a little bit to the question, but the reason why I chose pizza is because it's so versatile and it comes in so many shapes and forms. You've got thin crust, thick crust, deep dish, you've got this breakfast pizza like the one I'm taking on right now, and you even have dessert pizza. All of which can have so many toppings and different combinations, and even though personally I'd be okay with having the same type of pizza over and over, I mean if you've seen my Instagram big bowls you already know this, but yeah, one food for the rest of my life, it would have to be pizza. As I progressed through this challenge, something was a little off here, and it wasn't flavor fatigue, though that was starting to creep in at this point in the battle, but I didn't know really what to make of it, and it was just a feeling of sorts that I had where something didn't feel quite right. Because it wasn't affecting my food fighting abilities all that much, I figured it was just a case where the food wasn't settling well, so I just decided to ignore it, stand up so I could make better use of my stomach space, and continue on. And just like that, another food monstrosity bites the dust. Not quite sure what that funky feeling was earlier, but it didn't matter, because this food adventurer fought through it and smashed this challenge in style. And as I bust out some post-challenge victory push-ups, be sure to leave a little magic of your own by liking and commenting down below what your favorite part of this video was. And if you want to continue with the good times, check out another video by clicking or tapping on the screen or in the description down below. And when you do, I'll see you there.